Gentlemen and ladies, hope you guys are having a great day. Ricardo wanted me to share 5 tips on how to handle the objection of the commission. Obviously, that's a seller, right? So with the sellers, you and I both know it's always going to be the sales price and it's always going to be the commission that stops them from wanting to hire you, right? How much can you get from me and how much you're going to charge me, right? So I wrote down 5 different objection handlers for you that I want to share with you. Number 1 is commission attracts buyers agents. Obviously, the commission is split in half, right? So I always give them the example of the $20 an hour, $25 an hour, and the $30 an hour. How does that work? Well, it's real simple. Mr. Perez, let me ask you a quick question. If you had a job interview to go to, would you go to the $20 an hour? Would you go to the $25 an hour? Or would you go to the $30 an hour? And which one of these 3 would you rather get hired for? The $30 an hour? Fantastic. When you put your home on the market, you're offering a job. You're an employer, right? You're offering the job of selling your home. Therefore, buyer's agents are going to want to know what is the pay. And if the pay is $20 an hour, they're not going to be so excited, right? It's the lowest you can pay. 2.5, well, they might get excited. 3%, obviously, they're going to be all over it, right? What I'm asking you, seller, is not 3%. What I'm asking you is for 2.5 for the buyer's agent, and I'm asking you for 2.5 for the listing agent. 1% is what I'm going to set aside from my monthly marketing budget that I use to market homes like yours. Does that make sense? Fantastic. Based on that, let's do the right thing, sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time that you want. Cool? Great. So let's step back a little bit. That is one of the objection handlers. Now, the question is always asked, oh, wow, that's perfectly, do they automatically sign? And the truth is, no, they don't automatically sign. It usually takes 3 tries before we can get the seller to agree and sign on that dotted line. That's why I always say you should always have at least 3 objection handlers for every objection. So number 1, again, is the $20, $25, and $30 an hour, right? Put the seller in the shoes of the buyer's agent, right? And how paying a commission makes sense, right? The other one is a net sales price. And I use this one only when I know that I've taken a listing price on a home for, let's say, $500,000, and I know that the neighborhood is super hot and it's going to sell for more, right? So the strategy is always the same. And the strategy is, let's add the 6% to the price, which in this case, 6 times 5 is $30,000, right? That's going to make the seller feel as if the buyer's paying for the commission, because we're not going to sell this home for less than $530,000, right? And if we happen to sell it for less than $530,000, guess whose commission goes down? The buyer's agent, and not mine, right? So, and that's obviously going to be settled once we get the offer, and I'm going to address it before we go into escrow, right? So anyways, use that one. Try to use that one as a net sales price. Let's list it at $500,000. And I'm going to stack on top of that price the commission, which is $30,000. That means the buyer will have to pay $530,000. That's number 2. Number 3, this is fantastic for investors. And this usually works, right? Take into consideration that when an investor sells a home, the investor has to have write-offs because they're more than likely going to pay a lot of money in taxes, unless they're doing a 1031 exchange. Right? That's a different story, right? But let's say the average investor or the average homeowner owns 2 or 3 houses. They don't normally do a 1031 exchange. What they normally end up doing is cashing out. So when you, as an agent, charge a commission, whether it be escrow fees, title fees, commission, taxes, even interest on mortgage payments, all that is a tax deduction. So I simply just tell my sellers, listen, paying a commission is going to be a tax deduction. When you sell this home, you're going to be able to deduct the 6% commission, right? Now, you either pay me, the listing agent that's working on your behalf to get you the highest sales price for the home, or you can pay the IRS. Either way, it's going to end up paying, you're going to end up paying out. So think about that one, right? And number 4 is the 1.5%, Jose. We've seen the signs all over the place and yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, let's talk about that. Out of the 3 realtors that you interviewed, how many of those realtors offer you a 1.5% commission? Well, only 1, okay? Mr. Seller, and you don't find that as a little weird, or I mean, at least something's going on? I mean, if everybody else said 2% or 3%, right, whatever they told you for the listing side, you don't find that as kind of weird that they're coming in with 1.5? Okay. Well, let me ask you another question. If this person here doesn't see their own self-worth on negotiating a commission for themselves, how strong can they possibly be when it's time to negotiate, right? You sit across the table from another real estate professional. Who's going to win that battle? Right? So you got to be comfortable, and you also got to be very confident that this realtor that you're going to hire is going to get the job done. Now, I understand that commission is obviously important to you, right? And what I'm going to do is this, is I'm going to do 4% if I get you the buyer, right? If I represent the buyer and you as a seller. But I'm going to do 6% because we want to make sure that no other real estate agent out there misses the opportunity to apply for the job of selling your home. Because we do want top dollar, right? Fantastic. And at the end of the day, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if I don't net you guys the amount of money that you guys want to sell this home, and you want to rip up the contract on Monday when we sit down, I completely understand where you guys would be coming from, and I wouldn't blame you for that. Does that make sense? Fantastic. Based on that, let's do the right thing and sign the contract so I can help you guys get what you guys want in the time that you want. Won't that be great? Fantastic. So those are some of the tips that I have for you guys. Obviously, sometimes, just I go off and, start talking come up with some other objection handlers, but that's what I came up for you guys. So number one is commission attracts the buyer's agent. Remember the $20, $25, and $30 an hour. A net sales price, we take it at $500,000. We'll add the commission on top of the sales price, right? Investor, it's a tax write-off. 1.5, right? How strong can they be, right? 1.5% commission. How strong can they be when it's time to negotiate the best sales price for your home when they don't even see their own self-worth, right? And those are some of the most important aspects as far as when you're dealing with the seller, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have to be confident. You have to make sure that you're painting a clear picture, right? And that the customer is engaged. Extremely important. How do they engage? You ask them, does that make sense? Because you want to make sure that they're listening to everything that you're telling them, right? The other objection that normally comes up is my family or my friend, right? And I never get intimidated by that because obviously we hear this all the time. So I always acknowledge it. I get it, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. You guys have a friend and family in the business, right? Now let me ask you a question. Is this a business transaction or is this a personal transaction? Well, my friend, I owe them the ride, blah, 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 right? I understand that, and I get that. I get it where you guys are coming from. Let me ask you a question. Have you guys ever been in a position or been at a party where family were talking about personal things about another family member, right? And either finances or personal life matters and stuff like that? The fact that you guys are hiring a friend or hiring a family member for the job of selling your home, you don't think you're going to run the risk of that, people knowing how much money you guys are making on the sales price? Or more importantly, if things don't go your way, right, because you didn't get the sales price you wanted or whatever the case is, and you decide to take the home off the market, you don't think your friend's going to get mad at your friend or your family member? You don't think that's going to create some sort of friction between you guys? Because I can tell you one thing, that real estate transactions are very, very high emotions. And when it comes down to money, right, it creates a lot of problems. Being that you guys know each other, if it does happen to create a problem, right, would you guys lose your friendship? And if you do, are you guys okay with that? Right? So I'll step back a bit. So again, these are just objection handlers. I always ask questions, and based on what the customer tells me is where my conversation goes. These are just some real quick objection handlers that you guys can use in your daily either prospecting or when you're at the appointment. Hope they work for you guys. We do training here every day, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. You guys are more than welcome to join, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Take care. Bye.
I was a bat out of hell. One look at me, you think that I was destined to fail. 16 with the homies, ended up in a cell. And my crimes got much bigger on a different scale. Used to run around the hood, throwing my name up. Now they can't tame me and can't smoke enough. Man, this shit getting old, must be growing up. And Any lesson life was teaching, I was showing up. You know I gotta thank my mama for her holding us down. 4 kids, she a soldier, nothing breaking her down. Welfare, food stamps, send toast to the ground. She the reason why we get it, how we getting it now. And thank God for my big bro Lorenzo, yo. Put some clothes on our backs when our funds got low. Yeah, I really came from nothing, I stay humble, bro. Grind hard and I hustle, that's the life I know. Yeah, so many things done changed. Deep rooted with my brothers, they gon' know our name. Told Ricardo, ain't no felon, we gon' kill this game. And if we take a couple losses, we gon' build on pain. See, whatever didn't break us, that's what's making us now. 17 became a father, had a reason to smile. You go hard or go broke, you can't live in denial. I chose one, went dumb and started winning in style. Fast forward 10 years, selling cribs to the people. 5 companies deep, hardest working Latinos. All muscle boy like a 6'5" El Camino. We the Ponce brothers, reppin' San Bernardino. Yeah, we do this for familia. You know, behind every great man is a great woman holding us down. Yeah. And our seeds are the next generation. And we teach them everything we know so that they may build on what we built.